Pokonyan is a raccoon or tanuki type character starring in an anime that ran from 1993 to 1996, produced by Toho and aired on NHK. As the nyan would imply, this raccoon talks like a cat, and that's why he was called Rocky Racat in English. In any case, he got a Super Famicom game made in 1994, Pokonyan, Henpokorin Adventure. The word Henpokorin isn't a real word, but it refers to his transforming power. He can transform into a kangaroo that can jump high, a bird that can fly, or a hedgehog which can roll up into a ball. It doesn't work like Sonic, however, so rolling into enemies in ball form will not kill them. But they won't kill you either, because you are invincible. You see, this game is really easy. It can be beaten in about 10 minutes actually, by just running to the right. Pokonyan can run very fast, and sometimes jumping. There are no pits or spikes, and if you get hit, you only get stunned. There is actually a challenge factor to the game though, but it's entirely optional. When you beat the game, you are graded on a 100-point scale by how many fruits you've collected, hits taken, points, and amount of times you ran out of time. Getting 100 out of 100 grade at the end is actually quite hard. The gameplay is very basic. Move with the D-pad and jump with B. You can hold Y to run, but it starts running a second into walking anyway, so it's not necessary. You can double jump, not just from running start. You can also do it after falling from a platform or after having jumped on an enemy. As mentioned, Pokonyan runs and soars through the air pretty fast, and before you know it, you might be at the goalpost. However, the game requires you to find at least 15 pieces of fruit on each stage before you can finish. When you do finish, you have to watch him eat all of his fruit and convert them into points. But at least you can speed it up by pressing a button. There are also stars you can find. If you collect 3 of these by the end of a world, you will get to play a bonus stage afterward, wherein there are actually slight puzzle elements where you need to push blocks to get access to the fruit, at least if you're going for a better grade. The story is epic, probably the deepest you'll ever find in any game. You and your owner or girlfriend are chilling at home when foxes that sort of look like kangaroos invade through a wormhole and steal your sweets. It is up to you to chase after them and get those sweets back. Those darn foxes make up the boss battles, which are all easy except for one. Not the last one, but the next to last one. This guy moves too fast to catch the regular way, and getting stunned can lead you to missing your chance, so to avoid a time over here, I recommend standing in one spot, taking the hit and then waiting and jumping on it. That way, he's just as easy as the others. The regular enemies are mostly animals, but there are human soldiers too for whatever reason. The music is nice, and the graphics are quite nice and colorful. The game is also cute, which I always enjoy. You can for instance have Pokonyan ride rides on one stage, and whenever you pause he just lays down and goes to sleep. There's a 999 second time limit per stage, but it runs at a fast speed, so don't get too comfortable. At least not if you're going for a good grade, where you actually need the time. I also found it interesting how the game doesn't have any company splash screens before the title screen. Usually that's where the publisher or developer would go. Speaking of, I had a very hard time finding out who developed this. I knew it couldn't be Toho because they don't develop video games. For instance, the Godzilla NES game was made by Compile. And wouldn't you know, this game was developed by Vanguard, makers of Trauma Center 2 and some ports of Gundam and Lunar games back in the day, among others. Anyway, Pokonyan Henpokorin Adventure is a pretty rare and maybe it's not worth the price it goes for exactly, but it's a nice game with quality gameplay, playable and beatable for anyone, but also offers a challenge for those who want it.